So 2 days ago was the 10th anniversary of the premiere, the air date of the third episode of Star Wars Rebels, Droids in Distress. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. So like I said, this is the third episode, mainly because Spark of the Rebellion is technically episodes 1 and 2 because it's a two-parter, but I did talk about it as one episode because that's how it aired. But anyway, Droids in Distress, well, right off we're getting our nice quick connection into the main Star Wars saga as, well, we get two very familiar droids, who also managed to appear in every saga film and Rogue One. Did not appear in Solo to my knowledge. If you haven't figured out, this is the episode where we see R2-D2 and C-3PO. So, let's just sort of get the premise of the episode. The Ghost Crew, they're running low on funds for food, fuel, and everything else that they need. So, they're living on a budget right now. So they take a job for Vizago, so that's the crime boss that we did actually see them deliver the blasters to in the previous episode. Did we actually see Vizago in that episode? I don't recall for sure, but regardless, there's a shipment that they need to intercept and deliver to him, and he'll pay them for it. Turns out, those are actually T6 disruptors which were banned by the Senate. Clearly that does not stop the Empire, because the Empire wanted them. And then somehow, Mr. Tiya, which is just one of the Imperial officials on the Saw, is tasked with retrieving them on Garel, and she has to take public transit for that. And somehow R2-D2 and C-3PO are assigned to be her interpreters for an Aquarius who's selling them to the Empire. Yeah, that's a bit convoluted. That's probably my only downside with the episode is, why does an Imperial Minister have to take public transit for this? And why are Senator Organa's droids the ones assigned to her? How did that happen? Granted, there was probably some Imperial spying going on, because I have a feeling R2-D2's initial, main mission was to sabotage it somehow. Because one, C-3PO blabs. They wouldn't have put him on such a sensitive mission, at least not with R2-D2 to supervise him. But anyhow, that's kind of besides the point though. The rebels, get the droids all sent to the back of the shuttle. Is that an intentional reference to how during Jim Crow America, it was very common that African Americans had to sit in the back of the bus? Was that an intentional reference? Perhaps. I mean, Star Wars has fumbled the basically droids' rights plotline a lot. Solo treated as a joke. The Mandalorian also had an episode where it basically, we don't mind serving kind of deal. So they've always fumbled that metaphor. So was it intentional? Was it not? And this was intentional. Did they fumble it? It's hard to say, because that was not the point of the episode, so they did not dwell on it. With the droids in back, Mr. Tiya can't have a translation anymore, so Sabine volunteers to transfer. Mentions her time at the academy, which is actually the first time we got a reference, but we know from later episodes that she was an Imperial cadet. But at this point, we just think it's a convenient lie that she's telling as a part of the cover in order to mistranslate so they can figure out, mistranslate so Mr. Tiya and the Imperials go to the wrong hangar, or they go to the right hangar and intercept the cargo, where they find out it's the T6 disruptors, which Zeb does not like. So if you don't know, the T6 disruptors are an ion disruptor, very good at disabling ships, but apparently what they do to organic beings is horrific. And the Empire used that on Lasal, so Zeb's homeworld, to exterminate the Lasal. Yeah, so you can understand why he has such a negative reaction. And then, of course, R2 boards the ghost with them too, because he has a secondary mission too. And we don't figure that out to the end of the episode, but him and the C-3PO get aboard and all that. And there's a scene where Ezra is kicked out of the room he shares with Zeb, and he doesn't understand why. Hera explains why Zeb is so upset, because of the T6 disruptors and their history with his homeworld and his species. And then they deliver him to Vizago, but because C-3PO is just an idiot, I mean, he's a lovable idiot, he reveals their location to the Empire, because C-3PO doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't realize he's actually working for the Rebel Alliance, or what's going to become the Rebel Alliance. He doesn't know that. R2 does, and R2 is fully willing to help. He helps Sabine devise a way to destroy the T6 disruptors, which, here's my thing. Chopper either really loved that or really hated it, because Chopper is the war criminal, not R2D2, though both of them, all those sayings are bleeped for some odd reason. And there's a couple of fights between R2 and Chopper during this. And some of them, I think it's just them clashing personalities, but it makes sense. Like, the minute they meet, they start fighting. Because R2D2 is more of a dog and Chopper is more of a cat. It really does fit, actually. But going back to, they get away, they destroy the remaining disruptors that Vizago did not take. He did not pay them for the ones he took either, but they do get some payment from Bail Organa for returning to him R2D2 and C-3PO. Of course, they don't know it's sent to Organa. Surprisingly, you think one of them would have figured it out. Like Hayward, I think is the most tuned into the news, or Sabine. Well, I don't know. Sabine only Canyon Winterbolt is attentive foe, so there's a reasonable explanation. Because if you saw Sabine or Hayward though, yeah, they would have recognized Bail Organa for sure. But anyhow, C-3PO goes to shut down, and then Bail starts talking with R2D2, asking if he got the information, i.e., he's investigating this rebel cell. He wants to know if they're going to be a good fit for the Rebel Alliance stuff. That was R2D2's other mission. His probably maybe primary mission or a good bonus second mission, because Bail Organa, he clearly knew there was a good chance that disruptor shipment was going to get intercepted by the Ghost Cell, and he wanted R2 to be there in order to collect information on the Spectres. And he gets that information, and the ending scene, Bail bends down, and it's basically a recreation of Leia putting the Death Star plans in R2D2 from New Hope, which is just a lovely scene, how they call it homage to it and all that. And one of the droids is the same, and Leia's adoptive father, who raised her, not her bio dad, but her real dad, the dad who raised her. But like I said, I did a lot of plot recaps in this episode, because most of this episode is a plot point. It's supposed to introduce that the main rebels, the Rebel Alliance, has their eyes on the Spectre, and eventually they'll be connected to that wider group, but still they'll just slow down. So that was one point, but the other big point was revealing the history of the Lasan and the rivalry that's going to be established between Gil Zeborelius and Agent Callus at ISB, because Agent Callus was there on the Lasan during the Empire's extermination and claimed that he personally ordered the use of the T6 disruptors on the Lasan. So yeah, so that makes Zeb pretty mad, and he basically gets beat by Agent Callus until Ezra uses the Force to push Callus out of the way, and now Ezra's official Jedi training will begin. Seems like Ken's been dragging his feet on it, and while Hera's probably been prodding, it took this use of the Force by Ezra to, I think, truly prompt him to begin the training. But that's all I got for you today. I do hope you enjoyed my review. It's, like I said, there's not as much interesting stuff going on. I did mention some stuff like how Star Wars constantly fumbles droids' rights plotlines, that there is an allusion to historic discrimination in the United States, with the droids being sent to the back of the public transit. So there's some stuff there, but not really executed on. And there's some other good stuff. Most of it is establishing that background for Zeb more than anything else, and hinting at the wider rebellion beyond our main characters. But that's all I got for you today. I would love to hear your thoughts on Droids in Distress in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching my video. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to give this video a like and share. Also, consider subscribing to my channel to stay up to date on all my latest content. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good day, a good night, wherever you are. May the Force be with you, always.